is the state of Odisha, where there will be 6 seats which are at stake out of the 21 in this final phase. What's it going to be in Odisha, both at the assembly level and also at the Lok Sabha level? Will this mean big gains for the BJP? Bijayant Panda against Siddharth Das, and you have Anshuman Mohanty. All of them, the Kendrapara contest is a key contest, is an interesting one. If we look at Odisha, there are some other good contests too. In Dumka, you have Sita Murmu, Soren of the BJP, Nalin Soren of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. So this is another big contest in Jharkhand, which we should keep an eye out on. Then there is the Godda contest, Nishikant Dubey versus Pradeep Yadav. Now this is going to be an interesting one too. Plus, there is the Chandigarh fight. And we will talk Punjab very soon. There is a lot that is at stake in Punjab, and it's a four-cornered, multi-cornered fight this time. Sanjay Tandon and Manish Tiwari are at head-to-head in Chandigarh after that drama with the mayoral elections, with the Aam Aadmi Party also there in the mix. How much of it is it going to accrue in favor of Manish Tiwari if the AAP and the Congress voters actually combine against the BJP? The India alliance, test of that alliance could be in this area, in this Lok Sabha constituency of Chandigarh. But let's come back and circle back to the first contest from the state of Odisha. There is so much that's happened. Is the BJP pushing Zaka and Rahul in Odisha because they eye a chance this time around? The Prime Minister has never been so vocal about this Pandian and outsider Tamil Nadu. Amit Shah has pressed on it. And of course, those videos that came in through the last week, they don't help the BJD's cause.
So much so that Naveen Patnaik had to come out and clarify that Mr. Pandian is not his successor. The successor will be decided by the people of Odisha. But Kendrapara, I just want to focus for a minute on Kendrapara because it's the most high-profile fight in this phase. Jay Panda, again, used to be in the BJD, was a very close confidant of Naveen Patnaik. They fell out. And then, of course, from 2019, where Jay Panda was defeated by the BJD candidate. This time, Anshuman Mohanty, he's a local face. He's an MLA from one of the constituencies there in that district. He's been fielded against Jay Panda. Siddharth Das of the Congress is a political lightweight, is a political greenhorn. So it's essentially going to be, again, a prestige fight between the BJD and Jay Panda of the BJP. Couple of other seats.
On that seat, Zaka, on Kendrapara, of course, it's a prestige battle because this is Biju Patnaik's Karambhumi.
Exactly.
So in a sense, the BJP is going to throw everything they have, the kitchen sink and everything at this particular fight. So it's a very interesting contest.
Absolutely. And also because of how deeply personal it became, the fallout between Naveen Patnaik and Jay Panda. In fact, last time, Naveen Patnaik made it very personal to ensure that Kendrapara is the seat that the BJP loses. This time around, of course, for the last 5 years, Jay Panda has been working in that seat, particularly when COVID hit. And I heard people talk about his work in bringing back some of the migrant labor and helping their families. There's also this rail line that runs from Kendrapara towards the western part of Odisha, which again, Jay Panda has been talking about quite a bit. Other than Kendrapara, I also want to focus just a bit on two other constituencies. You have the constituency of Mayurbhanj, where the Prime Minister was. That's where he made the attack against Naveen Patnaik. This was, of course, represented by Bishweshwar Tudu of the BJP. He was even a minister in the government. He's been denied a ticket this time around. Nabacharan Majhi of the BJP has got the ticket. In the neighbouring constituency of Balasore, where, of course, Pratap Sarangi, again, he was a member of the Modi cabinet. He got dropped in 21. He's been repeated. This is Srikant Jaina's seat. Srikant Jaina, again, used to be a minister in the UPA government. So it's a three-cornered fight in Balasore. And like I said, there is Kendrapara. Just the other seats which the BJD has incumbent MPs in, Bhadrak is one seat, then the neighbouring seat of Jajpur, and then to round it off with the seat of Jagat Singhpur. So BJD defending 4, BJP has 2, the Congress none in this phase in Odisha.
No, and in this, if the BJP has to make inroads, do they stand a chance if they are able to try and impose themselves in Kendrapara, if they are able to impose themselves in Bhadrak? There is a 15% vote share gap. Is this going to be bridged this time around? What's the sense on ground?
It's a good question because
and has Naveen Patnaik pushed it too late when he says that Pandian is not his successor? People will decide till the last phase of the polls.
True. That of course remains in the background as perhaps the overarching issue because a large number of people are wondering after Naveen Babu whom. And it's a legitimate question. But the BJP strategy in Orissa, according to some people I spoke to, some party insiders, has been a very interesting one. They've been building their metal on the ground using constituency after constituency, i.e. they first have tried to bring in the tribal vote, and the SC vote and the ST vote. So that's the first area of focus. The upper castes and all of that were traditionally aligned to either the Congress or the BJD in Orissa. So that wasn't much of their focus. They've begun really from the grassroots upwards. And that's been the way they've sort of tried to accumulate voters to themselves. And that strategy has actually worked best for them in that side of the state, which sort of abuts the...
What a contrast from the origins of the BJP, which is largely termed a Brahmin Baniya party, to now trying that they're looking at the OBCs,
that's what explains
Adivasis,
the choice of the presidential candidate.
Draupadi Murmu.
So there is a lot of symbolism that the BJP has actually used to try and make inroads in this particular state. And the RSS has been very active in a large number of the tribal belts. And you go back in time also, if you remember, there were certain incidents that took place.
Yeah.
You know, there was a family...
The Grandstains incident.
Exactly, the Grandstains.
The challenge for the BJP in Odisha has always been, it was always confined to the western part of the state, which is the tribal belt. The coastal part of the state, which is the more progressive and, the more developed part of the state, Puri and, Kendrapara, etc., the coastal part, Bhubaneswar, Cuttack, they were not able to sort of make inroads into those constituencies in this part of the state. And this is where this time around the BJP feels, for example, in Puri with Sambit Patra, they feel they have a chance. In Bhubaneswar again, last time, that's the lone seat that they won last time around, Aparajita Sarangi. And then again in Kendrapara, which they lost, Jay Panda lost last time around. So some of the more urban constituencies which are more eclectic, more cosmopolitan, if you will, where there is more development, they've not been able to expand up until this election. And this time the BJP is hoping that they will be able to, spread their
likes
wings.
As far as Stark's, sort of strangleholds or strongholds are concerned, I have not seen a binary like this.
Yeah.
In a state. Assam used to be like that for the BJP, but now it seems that
Odisha is.
Yes.
Odisha is, and these two people, especially Sambit Patra, Jay Panda, and some of the others, have been asked to invest 5 years of their time, even as losing candidates in those constituencies, and nurture it and come back as victors. So
BJP
it's a big test for their work
It's not
too.
insignificant anymore. 38%, and the Congress is completely out of the picture. May not even retain a seat.
We have guests joining us, but first Rupashri Nanda, who's been patiently listening to this conversation in the studio on the phone. But Rupashri, the ODI new, what does it say?
Extremely interesting elections this time, I must say, and I also have to say that BJP definitely will see very good gains in Odisha. And in terms of percentage of support for BJP, it will go up. The only question that remains to be seen is whether that support is going to be translated into seats. Now, this time, as I was listening to the discussion, Congress really has been pushed to the third position. And if you look at the last assembly figures, in the assembly, BJP actually had only 23 out of 147 seats, while Congress for the first time went down to single digits, that is 9. And the BJD, if I remember correctly, had 112 seats. So this time, however, because of there is a sentiment on the ground which BJP is seeking to exploit, and that is very cleverly, it is not really attacking Naveen Patnaik, who still remains very popular as the chief minister. He is looked upon as a father figure, and people have an emotional tie with him. So the BJP very cleverly instead has shifted its attack to Mr. V.K. Pandian and has targeted his non-Odia origins, and has consistently asked this question as to how a person who does not hold any position, either in the government or in the party, exercise so much influence. And they have driven home this point that Naveen Patnaik is now just a tool in the hands of Mr. Pandian. And certain videos that have emerged, during the campaigning, that have actually strengthened this perception. So the question for the BJD is to dispel that perception, which is why you saw Naveen Patnaik give that interview to ANI on the last day of campaigning. And remember, this was his first interview in this election season. Now, had Mr. Naveen Patnaik spoken out much before, then perhaps the case would have been different.
Correct.
But definitely a close contest between the BJD and the BJP, not just for the 21 Lok Sabha seats, but also for the assembly seats.
The question that along with that video that's been raised is, how is it that in the last 1 year his health has deteriorated so much? What or who has been wielding this influence or having this?